Well, she's walking through the clouds with a certain smile that's running around. Butterflies and zebras and moonbeams, a fairy tale. That's all she ever thinks about.
So the other day, I uploaded a video talking about the fact that I do not subscribe to the notion or the philosophy of incorporating work-life balance into your life as a man. And I got a lot of backlash, which, to be honest, is to be expected, given the fact that I believe that if you want to be an average man and you want to achieve average results over the course of your life, then you should subscribe to the notion of work-life balance. That you should be constantly trying to balance how much work you're putting in with, apparently, I mean just how much time you're spending with people that you love or doing things that help you to decompress from work. And I take just a completely different approach. Being that I am at 27 years old, I have run my own social media marketing agency for over 6 years. I have a podcast. I have a men's group, the Underground Kings Club, that I'm building. I don't do anything half-assed. I would say in the gym, I'm likely within the top 1, if not 5% of men from a physicality standpoint. There's nothing to me about the way that I choose to live my life that corresponds with a sense of balance. And I would say that I operate within realms of extremes. I'm currently, for instance, doing the 75 Hard program. And today, my hip flexor was really irritated, and I found myself having to limp through my outdoor workout. I just went for a walk where typically I would have run. And yesterday, it's probably inflamed because I chose to run on it when it was bugging me a little bit. But regardless of the fact, like, all of the growth is found in enduring that pain and that suffering. And the pursuit of balance is basically just avoiding having to prioritize things. It is avoiding that very same pain and suffering in realms of your life. And when you avoid pain and suffering as a man, your expectation as far as the result that your life is, your legacy, will be in line and in suit with other people who avoid pain and suffering. And do I think there's generally anything wrong with that necessarily? No. Do I think everyone should be like me? No, because we'd probably all be out hunting each other down and trying to hurt each other. Or, just tearing each other's throats out. But regardless of that fact, I understand that for a majority of people, average is what is in store for them in this life. And an average life for a man today means being overweight, in debt, lack of money, working a job for somebody that they hate, to buy things that they don't even like, to impress people that they don't even like. To me, that's just not something that interests me. And for the select few that resonate with that want more out of life, that want the power, that want the status, that want the freedom to choose and to create the life that they desire, that are willing to put in the work and endure the pain and the suffering to become the man worthy of the life that they want. Not only for themselves, but for those around them that they care about. That is the audience of men that I am speaking to when I tell you that work-life balance has no place in your life if you hope to achieve what the average man is incapable of achieving by avoiding pain and suffering. I even think back to my father when we were children. There was zero work-life balance in my father's life when he was taking every single opportunity he could to take more overtime, to work long hours. Oftentimes he would be gone before the sun came up and he wouldn't be home until late at night. There was no work-life balance in that man's life. Why? Because it was important to him to ensure that my mother was able to stay at home and be a mother to my brother and I. That the values and the morals and the codes and the ethics that he believed were important within his household were being taught to my brother and I on a daily basis by the woman that he loved and trusted to do so more than anyone else in this world. On 9/11, when the Twin Towers were hit, my father, there was no work-life balance in the fact that we were off in some neighboring town with my mother and he had to call her up and say, I'm being sent to ground zero, I have to go. There was no work-life balance in that situation. He was fulfilling and executing on his duty as a man, both as a law enforcement officer as well as a father, and setting an example simultaneously, subconsciously, to both my brother and I and my mother as to the kind of man that he was and what was truly important to him. And the man that I have built today is in large part due to the fact that my brother and I were raised by my mother in a traditional household, and that my father set the proper example as to what a man's purpose in this life is. And guess what? It was not to try and balance work and life, fun with hardship, pain with playing around and wasting time. It was none of those things. It was the fact that there were certain chapters of his life when duty called and my father would have to go out of balance and focus on his work in order to protect and provide for our family, as well as to set an example for his sons to follow. And I will forever be grateful for that example that he set for me. And there's not a doubt in my mind that that very example is what has, again, turned me into the man that I am today and instilled my lack of belief in this meaningless pursuit of work-life balance for a man such as myself. I don't want a balanced life. I want to achieve things that most ordinary people would consider to be extreme. And I wanted to be able to do more for other people than most people are able to even do for themselves. And so I cast away the notion of work-life balance. And for anyone out there that still believes that work-life balance is worthwhile pursuing, it's your life. You have a certain amount of time in this world. You have a duty, whether you know it or not, as a man. And your choice as to whether or not you will endure the pain and the suffering required to achieve the things that you want to achieve will be a direct reflection of how much you are willing to, number one, sacrifice, but number two, how willing you were to live a potentially unbalanced life during certain chapters. And my final note on this is, this does not mean that you cannot still spend time with people who are important to you, with your family, with your friends. It simply means that you may have to sacrifice some of that time. And for the select few of you that truly understand what it is that I'm saying in this video, I wish you all nothing but the best. And for those of you who reject what it is that I'm saying, I also wish the best for you. But just don't be surprised when you're not able to do as much as you wish that you could for the people around you that you love and that you care about.